Hello everybody and welcome back. This is episode number 3 of the Vanarama YouTube's Football Manager 2018 experiment. We have Celtic and Rangers in the English League starting off in the Vanarama, and now they're now in League 2. They both got promoted. There's 4 promotion spaces, so I fully expect them to get promoted again. They made very light work of their promotions as well, except Rangers had to go through the playoffs, and they didn't win it convincingly, but they would always go into it really though, wouldn't they? And Celtic ended up winning the league. It was quite tight in the end, so there's not much of it. It shows to me that there's not really much of a difference, ability-wise of the players. I don't think there's that much of a difference, because I think Rangers did well with their business. Now, Celtic brought a couple of players in. They've spent a bit of money, but Lee Griffiths and Moussa Dembele, they've now made 40 million, 4-0, and they've spent 5.75. Considering they've let quite a lot of their good players go, looking there as well. But to say it's just the 1st of July at the moment, there's more players to come in. If they're playing this smart, they'll be purchasing players who are of high potential, who are going to be Premier League players one day, and they will take them through the divisions. That's how I would do it. Obviously, we did the Big Six in the Vanarama on Football Manager 2017, and I personally felt that the best way to get your team back in the Premier League and back up to where they were was to sell up all your big players, because you don't need those big players to get promoted in the small leagues. You need good players still, but the amount of money you could have made, the wages would have been low, so the income, you would have been making buttloads of money all the way through, signing good young players who were the better players in their division, but future stars. So you'd have gone into the Premier League with a very good team anyway, and a buttload of cash. Looks as though Celtic are doing that now. But what are Rangers doing? Rangers have not spent anything, but they've sold Josh Windass to Portsmouth. Well, they got promoted with a decent team. They did well. Do they think that they've got the players there and the income to get promoted every season without a problem? But they've sold Josh Windass. What was their business last season? So they brought in some smaller players. I mean, they brought some players in March. I mean, that's strange. How they managed to bring players in March, I wonder. Nigel Reo-Coker, getting on a bit, isn't he? Luke Freeman. So they spent a little bit of money here. A couple of players there, potentially decent ones on a free. And they've loaned in some players, but they sold a couple of players on. So they've spent a little bit more in total than what they brought in. But maybe they got a different approach. But I think the Celtic approach, I've got a feeling Celtic are going to exceed Rangers, judging by the business they're doing so far. But let's make a start of this League 2 season. Let's take them to the beginning of September, the end of the transfer window, and then see what further business they do and what kind of start they make. Guys, I will see you there shortly. Okay then, people, we are on the 2nd of September, and the start that they've made, well, it's decent. Except Rangers have drawn 3. Don't know why they've managed to draw those games. I think they needed to invest some of their money and bring in some players. I don't know if they have or not. We'll soon find out that. Celtic have roared away, beating our beloved Newport County, but also winning 4 out of 4, which is obviously a fantastic start. I'd expect them to go ahead and win that division, probably without losing a game, because Rangers do look as though they're weaker. Starting with Celtic, because at the top, let's have a little look at the players they brought in the end. And as you can see, Joe Lolly on a part exchange deal with Huddersfield for Scott Sinclair going in the other way. Kieran Tierney. So they brought in 66 million and spent 9.25, and they already won their first 4 games. You see what I mean? Stacking the money away. Joel Campbell on a free, that's a bargain. I know that guy Barazite, and what position is he again? Attacking midfield, midfield centre or striker centre. They've spent some money well. Joe Rowles, Jared Bowen, and Mohamed Besic on loan. Yeah, they've done some good. They've done some really, really good business here. Because like I say, they are up nearly 60 million, and they're top of their league. pretty damn good. So you've got to be happy with what Celtic have done. Rangers, on the other hand, fair play, they got some players in. Brought a few on a free. Connor Randall from Liverpool, Connor Townsend. Looking at the calibre of player that they're bringing in, I'd say that they're not bringing in anything close to the sort of standard of Celtic, which makes me think Celtic are going to roar away. But Rangers have got the infrastructure. They've spent more money than what Celtic have. That could be an alarming thing, but they're loaning the right players. Harrison Reed, Luke Garbett, Matty James. They've got the right players in on loan. I think the results, Marco Motta, I think the results are a temporary thing. I think they will soon pick up, but I don't think they'll be strong enough to beat Celtic at this stage. So, there we go. There's the transfers. That's the start that they've made. None of them in any cups. Well, I'm going to double check the schedule. Just have a look at Celtic's run first. They're in the Carabao Cup, obviously. That's one worth looking at. They've beaten Burton and they've beaten Norwich, so they're into the third round with the European teams. They'll be playing against Huddersfield. That'll be a test for them, because the two they've beaten so far are Championship. So they've won all their games. Every game, every single competitive match they've won. Obviously they're in the Checker Trade Trophy as well, so it'd be worth looking to see if they pick up that trophy on the way as well. Let's have a look at Rangers and see what they're doing in the Carabao Cup. So Carabao Cup went 8 to Barnsley, 2-1 at home in the first round. There's the big difference, really, isn't there? So they won their first game 3-0, looking like, yeah, we're gonna finish in the top 2, no problem. Lost to Barnsley and then went on a run of 3 draws. 2 of them away games, mind you, a 3-3 draw with Cheltenham. They've got to be disappointed with that. So the Checker Trade Trophy as well. Possibly a bit of silverware for them. They're not in any Scottish competitions anymore, which is good to see. So, one thing, which I know I shouldn't really be looking at this, but I'm still interested to see if Barrow and Gateshead make anything of themselves in the Scottish League. So we're going to have a quick touch on there, and then we're going to push on to the 30th of November. So Barrow and Gateshead in the Ladbrokes Championship, and Barrow making a good start to life joint top, but Gateshead making a poor start. Let's see. We'll monitor this one and see how it goes. Let's go to the 30th of November. Okay then, guys, we're here the 30th of November, and Celtic and Rangers are top 2, as expected, and quite spectacularly, Celtic have won every single game. Rangers, mind you, only losing 1 game to Celtic. That's pretty damn amazing, isn't it, really? Absolutely top draw. I mean, even in League 2 with Celtic, 17 wins out of 17 is great. I don't even think any of the top 6 in the 2017 version managed to achieve something like that. That's pretty damn awesome. Let's have a quick look at where they are in the cups. So, Carabao Cup third round, they beat Huddersfield 3-0. That's just mental, isn't it? They lost 3-1 away to Everton. For me, Celtic at this particular moment are ready for the Premier League. I think they're going to get there unless they cock up royally, winning all the Checker Trade Trophy games. Their game against Everton in the Carabao Cup is the only game they haven't won, a competitive game that they haven't won all season. They won 5-0 against Sutton in the FA Cup first round. FA Cup second round, they're going to be playing against Coventry. So the Carabao Cup dream ended in the 4th round. Let's check out what Rangers are doing in other competitions while we're at it. So Rangers, since those draws, they lost to Preston under 23s in the Checker Trade Trophy and then drew another game, at which point you're thinking, that's not good. Should be doing better. All of a sudden, bang, winning run. Absolutely great. That's obviously propelled them up into 2nd place. They've won the FA Cup first round game away at Stockport, and they say they've only lost the 1 game in the league, only drawing a further one since that one there. Oh, it's great. So they've made it through on the Checker Trade Trophy in the end, because obviously they ended up winning the rest of their games. So they're now in the North 2nd round. They may encounter Celtic again. That would be interesting. But they've picked up the pace. Fair play to Rangers. They're doing the job well now. So let's have a quick look at some detailed player stats. So where are we? goals. Where's the goals? Aha. So the Chesterfield striker is top scorer, but Jared Bowen and Nasser Barazite are the top scorers for Celtic. Rangers have got Eduardo Herrera as one of the top scorers as well. So, yep. Rangers and Celtic both getting some top scorers in on this chart. Let's have a look at the assists. Matty Doan for Rochdale, but Salim Khalifi for Rangers, and any Celtic players, Mikhail Lustig and near. Oh, there we go. They're piling up there. They are. So so Rangers looking the better so far in the assists, and then clean sheets is David Button of Celtic. Luke McCormick is now playing for Carlisle, and Angus Gunn, goalkeeper for Rangers. So there's the player stats. We're going to have a quick look at Gateshead and Barrow, and then we'll call it time on that episode, guys. Okay, so Barrow have fallen off the boil somewhat, but actually, no, they're only a point away. They're only 3 points from top. Very tight in that league. Very competitive, and I like it a lot. And Gateshead are on 13 points, so a point away from being in the safety zone there. So let's hope they can turn that around. I'd like to see them make something of it in the Scottish League and not just be relegation fodder every season. But it just goes to show the gulf in class between the Scottish and English League. If Gateshead and Barrow in the second tier of Scottish football can find themselves, it just goes to show they've come from the 5th tier of English football. There is a gulf in class, isn't there? Big time. But there we go, guys. We're going to call time on that episode. Looking like an interesting season. Celtic flying in the cups and in the league. Rangers are picking up the pace, so I fully expect them to finish top 2. But you got to watch the next episode to find out. Anyway, thanks all for those of you who are keeping up with the series. I hope you're thoroughly enjoying it. I'm certainly enjoying recording this one, and really looking forward to the next episode. Thanks again, and until next time, cheerio for now.